Greetings, Padawan. Can you believe this is our last video? And it's a short one. This is just a quick video about the rise of realism. And as you know, because you've heard it 400 times now, realism comes because the Civil War happens, right? So you've heard of the famous writers that are associated with realism, most popularly Mark Twain, Samuel Clemens. So as we talked about in the beginning of the class and throughout the class, literature, like history, flows on this pendulum swing, right? So there's never a static moment on that pendulum swing, right? There are always, in every movement, there were realists writing during the Romantic period, there are romantics writing during the realist period, but we see that sort of the overall sentiment is switching over to our reaction against, writing that is centered on emotion and individuality and imagination, right? And that happens because people are now starting to write about, just like here and now. Here's what's happening here and now. Here's what's happening in the lives of everyday people. Here's what's happening in the common world. This is the reality of it. And so, we see the poverty in the tenements, right? When we read Stephen Crane's work, right? We see what life is like for people who are slaves, who then are not slaves, and the poverty that they endure, and all the doors that are closed, and the racism they face, right? Like, here's what life is really like. So realism is a reaction to romanticism. Like, there's no time for that, fanciful Rip Van Winkle, imaginative, playfulness, because we have serious work to do. We have serious problems going on. And that is what realism is. So some other authors that you may not have heard of, William Dean Howells and Henry James, Edith Wharton, Kate Chopin. You may have read some of their works or their short stories during your English 1 or English 2 classes. Ordinary speech, no longer like these lofty, intellectual essays, right? These are short stories that teach a lesson about, mostly about class, about poverty, and about life in America at the time. And realism is, there's naturalism, which is a subset that kind of goes along with it, and we see geographical writing. So, Kate Chopin writes in a certain way from where she's located in the Creole South, and so we see that sort of writing. So really all I want you to know about realism, though, is that it's the next literary time period after the Romantics and is a response to Romanticism. So that's all you need to know. So I hope you enjoyed this lecture series, and I look forward to the projects that you do about the rise of realism. Take care. Be well.